Hi guys, it's Floss and this is Floss's Corner, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but sometimes I might also show you other things that I enjoy doing. In today's video, I will be sharing with you my February cross stitch update. If you're interested in what I've been up to, then keep watching. Before we officially start the video, I would just like to thank you for tuning in, and that is Rexy, one of my greyhound babies, and he's just trying to adjust himself. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I've just hit 700 subscribers not too long ago, so thank you so much for your support. And I will also leave my Instagram handle down here if you want to follow me on Instagram. I don't post photos very often. Sometimes it really is based on my mood. If I feel like something requires a little celebration, I will just pop a post. And I'll also leave my YouTube Gmail account down here, so if you would like to interact with me, share some of more, I guess, personal things with me, just, write an email to me to that address, and I will be sure to reply to you. And without further ado, I guess let's just jump into it. You okay, Rexy? Today's date is 2nd of March, the Saturday, and just as all the other cross-stitch update videos, I will divide my video up into different chapters, and you can just jump to the sections that you're interested in. And normally my videos will have haul, hobby budget, haul first, and then whip updates, and maybe some of the other things that are stitching related, and plans if I have any, and also life updates. And I always try to put all the information that you might be interested in down in the description section, so that includes the links and whatnot, and just feel free to check them out. And well, I guess let's just talk about haul. So I did purchase some stuff the past month in Feb. And I also am on hobby budget. So my hobby budget is $50 a month, and I normally use it for most of the stitching related things. So that includes patterns, kits, some of the accessories, and well, it doesn't include any framings and I guess some of the more universal tools, because otherwise it won't motivate me to finish things at all. I do cut myself some slack. Sometimes I will buy certain things as, like a birthday gift or Christmas gift. There might be some big purchases, and most of the time I stick to my hobby budget pretty well. So from last cross stitch update video, I had $86.71 left, and this month I purchased two things. Well, the first thing is tied to this new start I made, and I noticed that I wouldn't start anything before I finished another project, but plans are there to be broken. So I bought a lighting pad. Is that an A3 or A4 lighting pad? I bought it from Amazon. So pretty sure I have it here. Oh, I thought I had it here. It looks like this. I will put the links down. I know in Australia you can get something that's similar in Spotlight, which is, I guess, maybe the Hobby Lobby or whatever equivalent in America. And I can't remember how much it was, maybe $30 to $40. And that one wasn't very well reviewed, first of all. Second, I think it's not battery operated, so whenever you want to use it, it always has to be USB connected and you can't disconnect it. So then I ended up going onto Amazon to find what might suit me. I just want the flexibility of bringing it to places I want to stitch at without having to worry whether it's close to a PowerPoint. So this one is $46, so $45.99, and it is magnetic. Oh, it's not very strong, but this is a needle minder, so the point is you can put a piece of paper and stabilize it and fix it with magnets. It also gave you 4 magnets that are pretty strong. I put them on the fridge behind me. So I suppose if you have paper pattern, you can technically put the paper pattern on there. Now the good thing about this is once, oh, I just realized I bumped the microphone. Once it's charged, you can just use it, and you can adjust how, you know, dim you want the lights to be or how bright. It can go quite bright. This is to help me stitch on Black Ada, and I will tell you I guess a bit more when I talk about the project. But this is like, it's nice to have, but it's not as necessary for this project that I have as I thought it would be. But besides that, what I thought was pretty funny was the packaging. So the cardboard box that this comes in had English explanation on it, and it was so hilarious that I took a photo of it, and I will put it on the screen. Feel free to pause the video and have a read. I think sometimes when I get bored, I just literally look at the photo and have a laugh, because the grammar, the vocabularies that this description chose to use was next level, let me just tell you. And yeah, just have a go, and hopefully it will make you laugh too. Is there something else I can tell you about this? I think that's pretty much it. And then after that, I also bought some, I think, thread organizers. Where did I put them? Oh, here. So they're just really cheap. Each one has 20 holes, and they're supposed to be 5, but I actually received 6. So I think it's just by accident that they included 1 extra. So the other one's actually blue. The reason why I got these was because the way the threads were presented in the kit were just unusable to me. It took me too long to try to get a piece of thread to use every time. So eventually I just gave up and decided to reorganize it myself to make my life a little bit easier, a bit sacrificing my stitching time. If you have watched me for a while, anything that is not actual stitching related, I do not like. I just find already hard to find time to stitch, and then I have to spend more time to do these. Not a happy girl, but I think in this case it's quite necessary. So a set of 5 on Amazon cost me $12.99, so $13. And after all this, I had $27.73 left. And it's March again, so I get $50 again. So now the grand total of my hobby budget that's left is $77.73. And that's the end of the whole section. Now, I realized, because last video was a few months after the one before, so I forgot to ask you a question in my video. For this video, my question to you is, what's a cross-stitch thing that you're really interested in trying but still haven't garnered enough courage or haven't got the opportunity to try yet? For me, I want to try royal roll method. If you haven't heard of it, there is this stitcher called, I think, the Royal Stitcher on YouTube and possibly on Instagram. I don't know. I will link her channel down below. Pretty much, if you want to picture it visually, it's a parking method that has all the threads very neatly parked. And I'm pretty sure when I looked into it a couple years, maybe last year, I was kind of intrigued. I watched a couple of her videos try to explain how to do this method, and I remembered back then, I understood it, now I just forgot. So when it's time to start another full cross-stitch, full coverage project, I might give royal roll a go. So right now I just don't have the opportunity to try it yet. And what would be your thing? Comment below, let me know, because I'm quite interested. And now we can get to the whip section. So I think the way I'm gonna do it is I will possibly put a calendar there somewhere and also show you, which were the days that I stitched on each project, so you kind of get a feel of what happened. I used to do it in my videos and then it was too much effort, so I just kind of gave up. But maybe I'll find a better way, an easier way to display like the calendar sort of thing. So the first thing I worked on this month was Winter Cabin. It is a Dimensions Gold Collection kit that I started with Laura from 𝐒𝐡𝐨𝐵𝐿𝐴 on YouTube. And I don't know, it's kind of a kit that sometimes when I get really into it, I really want to stitch it, but sometimes I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I will show you the preview here. So we both started it last May during the Vic Stitch retreat. So that's what it looks like. It's very peaceful, wintry, with some animals in it. I think she's stitching kind of around the reindeers, and I'm kind of up here. And well, let's just see my progress first, I guess. I want also, not sure whether you guys are into it, but I also want to display the project bag that I put them in. So this is the project bag for Winter Cabin, because it's quite a large project and sometimes I don't take my projects off the hoop. So I'll just pop the hoop inside too. And because this is a 14 by 14 inch project bag, it's large enough to fit this nurture hoop. So I really like it. It just fits right there. I know it's more common to have maybe 12 by 12 or 11 by 11, but I do like larger project bags. So, oh, and that project bag was made by 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓮 Handmade, and I purchased that project bag during the cross stitch retreat, the Vic Stitches retreat last year as well. And speaking of progress, this is the progress. So this is where I'm up to. And as you can see, yeah, I tend to stitch in a hoop, and you can literally see the hoop mark. And I will put a comparison photo side by side. Where did I stitch? So with this one, I stitched for 5 days and 7 hours altogether. Last time when you saw it, it was at 16.9%. Now it's 18.3%. Now the percentage doesn't include anything that's not stitched. Actually, it only includes full crosses and half stitches. It doesn't include back stitch, French knots if there are any, or beading or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure last time I reached this corner, but this time I just kind of filled it in a little bit, because this bit's still the background, and the background has heaps of half stitches. I think in the end I got a bit bored of it, so then I possibly ended up stitching some full crosses here as well. Just get you a bit closer. And then I also ended up doing some back stitching as well. I think maybe on the roof here. Yeah, it looks really nice. I think what's interesting about the back stitching so far is on the actual cabin, a lot of the back stitching isn't to do the outline of the cabin, but to do some kind of subtle shading. So if you look at it from a distance, it doesn't really look like back stitching at all, which is interesting. Whereas clearly the railing is to differentiate between all the crosses and to outline the balustrade. So that's quite different from what I thought of like back stitching normally would do. Is there something else I haven't said? Yeah, I think that's it. And I don't know, should I add the calendar stuff here? So I think I pretty much worked on it somewhat consecutively for 5 days. And it's just at the start of Feb. And then the next thing I worked on was Lantern Festival by Riolis. It is a new kit I bought last month actually. And in that video I was saying I wouldn't want to start it until I finish something, but I kind of explained it a little bit in the Chatty Stitch With Me video I uploaded about a week ago, or actually maybe half a week ago. Just the timing of it was so good. I feel like it will be awesome to stitch Lantern Festival on actual Lantern Festival, which was last Saturday. So I just ended up starting it, and I thought the black Ada was going to beat me up, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I will show you the preview first. Is it? Here it is. That's the preview. It is very whimsical. Really, I don't know, it's like oddly romantic to me. So it's so it is stitched on 14 count black Aida. A lot of it was 3 strands actually, so there are a lot of blends and 2-3 strands sort of, and this one is actually half stitch central. I guess I will show you, and you will realize I like to stitch from the corner, so that's my preferred start, but sometimes I just can't be bothered counting, so I ended up starting in the middle anyway. Is that clear enough? So yeah, as you can see, it's literally half stitch central. All the sky bits, all half stitch. And sometimes the half stitches are used for the shading as well. So it was interesting to do a stitch with me on black Aida. I just wanted to try it out. It wasn't as bad, but towards the second half of the stitch with me, because it was getting a bit dark, then it got a bit tricky to find the holes and try to anchor threads. And I find to work on this, let me just try to, so when I put the lighting pad underneath, it does help me to show the holes, but it kind of obscures the stitching by itself, so you can't quite tell whether you're stitching properly, if that makes sense. So what I find is I like to put it on my lap because I stitch in hand with a hoop, and I just lie across the sofa and watch something with JP when JP is, you know, painting. So that's generally how we hobby at night together. So I got this on my lap, and I will hold this like this, and when I need to find holes, I will kind of put it this way to find the hole, and once the hole's found, I will just stitch without the assistance of the light, because otherwise the stitches will be very messy, because I don't know how they lay. I can't see anything. The definition of the stitches is completely lost. And also I don't like it too bright. I tend to dim it a bit. So maybe like the lowest couple settings. So I find that's quite helpful. And now I understand why people tell me to put like white towels. I think that can also work for 14 count. But I do have some experience with black on 18 count when I was trying to stitch neural stem cell, what is it, like, it's supposed to be fluorescent microscope. So that was a gift for JP, and I tried putting something white underneath and it didn't help just because the holes were so small. So I think if I do stitch on a small count black Aida or black something, the light would be more useful, whereas 14 count's not as bad for my eyes right now. So yeah, What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, sorry, forgot. So I got the thread organizers because of this project. Because if you're familiar with 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝔃𝓽𝓾𝓫𝓮 thread organization, all the threads are like wound up on a thread card, like bobbins pretty much. And every time I want a length, I need to cut it first, get however many strands I need, and rewind it up. And then I need something else again. I have to do that again. It's just too much effort. Whereas this, so that's the extra one I got in the supposed 5-pack kit. Anyway, so I just use permanent marker and put the numbers on there. And this is the other 4, so altogether 24 colors. And then I just use needle to literally pick however many strands I need out. And that's it. And if I don't need that color anymore, I can just, you know, sort of loop it up and put it back. Otherwise, oh, that thread card. After I sorted out all the threads, I literally just chucked the card. It was so bad for me. Now I'm a lot happier stitching this. So this whole reorganization took me maybe an hour and a half. So it was a bit time consuming, but I think it's worth it. And like I said, I did do a stitch with me on this project. And I did the stitch with me with JP as well, and JP was stitching too. And he said it was really nice because we got to talk between us. Whereas the monthly stitching updates, he mostly was there too, but we don't talk very much during the meetup. So yeah, the stitch with me with him was nice. And he was making fun of me and said my video was a frog with me, because that's true. If you watch the video, I ended up sort of backtracing a lot. Maybe not a whole area, but kind of a couple stitches back because I counted incorrectly or whatever. So that's just how it is. Also because I'm not marking my chart, which I need to rectify. Forgot to say that. So normally I would take a picture of the chart and maybe use good notes to like just manually mark it off, or I will properly scan it and load it into Markup RXP. So that's how I would do it. But this one, I haven't been bothered to do any of the 2 options, so I just ended up eyeballing and trying to trace it mentally. That's also part of the reasons why the progress is slow. Plus working on black is not as convenient as working on other colors. So the 6 days of Lantern Festival ended up being 15.5 hours. And I will pop the calendar this way, and there's a reason why I look like that, because I was working on it right after the winter cabin, and so I started it during the cross stitch meetup on a Saturday. Then I thought, oh, I can't just keep stitching for too long. I need to stitch bunnies, which is my focus piece this year. So then I ended up stitching bunnies, which I'll show you later. But then because of the stitch with me and the Lantern Festival thing, so I went back to it. And you'll notice there's a huge gap of that, because if you're in Australia, you might know there's so many things that happened this summer. First of all, the hot weather was really delayed, and then we had multiple heat waves in Victoria, and there was this, it's not a huge heat wave. It's not like a whole week and every day was 35 degrees or anything. It was literally a very short couple days. But then because the weather was so extreme, it suddenly heated up and it was super windy. Then a bunch of trees ended up falling down everywhere. And there was also a major power plant, I think, that got affected or something. So a lot of people lost power. And I work in a compounding place. I guess you can say it's somewhat industry-like, pharmaceutical industry-like. So it caused a bit of chaos with the whole power went out and generator failed. So that whole week, the company was trying to deal with it and trying to catch up. So most of that week, I didn't stitch at all because work was a mess. And after that, I was just exhausted. So that's why. Anyway, now I can show you the next project I worked on, which is bunnies. Maybe I'll put the preview up now. So it's an Etsy chart by 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓮, and it's going to be a gift for a friend. She helped design the, I guess, like face logos for JP and my channels, and she also painted a painting for Amy. Well, it was supposed to be a gift a while ago, but then Amy passed away and she felt really bad, so she kind of gifted us for free. And that painting is now, I guess, right at the door. So when you walk through the front entrance, you can see her straight away. That's just on the wall. And she's a new mum now. She literally just gave birth, I think, end of Jan. Anyway, so she's got two really old bunnies. I heard they're like 14 years old. And that's pretty much like the upper range of their life expectancy. They're a bit, I think, blind and deaf now, but so far in good health. I don't know how long they'll live, but I'm hoping to get this done fast-ish, like at my speed, fast, so I can gift it to her when they're still alive. But even if, you know, they pass away, I want to just gift it to her not too long after that. That's why this project is my focus piece this year. And I forgot to turn that off. So I will show you. This is where I'm up to, and I'll put the comparison next to it as well. So this is on 16 count hand dyed Ada. It's called Blue Sky by Paddock Lane Designs. She is a local dyer, so Aussie dyer. It is getting really cute now. And how long did I work on this? I worked on it for 8 days in 2 different kind of sections. And altogether is 10.5 hours. So last time when you saw it, it was at 41.1%, and this time is 46.3%. So technically the goal is to work more than 5% each month, but I don't know whether I could do that. I'll just get it closer to you. So yeah, I'm getting to half. I think if I fill more up on the wreath, like this way, maybe then I'll reach half. But this bunny is almost done. Oh my god. Well, this one is interesting because if you see the calendar, like I said, it was worked on in 2 sections. So the first bit was literally after the first round of working on Lantern Festival, and I found so much enjoyment changing to this one because that progress was slow on black, and suddenly I felt like my needles were flying, even though it wasn't really flying, but in comparison I felt like there was a lot more visible progress. So suddenly I guess went up a few percentage, and I thought, oh my god, suddenly it's so much fun working on it. And then I went back to Lantern Festival and then came back to this one. So the second time round, I sort of lost the passion for this. Plus also I was working on the wreath a bit more. I was trying to kind of fill in the colors on one branch, on this branch. And the wreath has so many scattered colors, and it was really annoying to work on. Plus the way because I like to color complete, right, with the whatever color thread I got, and then that kind of leaves random gaps in the section you want to work on. So towards the end, you just have like 1 stitch for this color, 2 stitches this color. So it kind of goes everywhere. So the second round, the progress was a lot slower and it just wasn't as fun. And that's pretty much what I wrote down here. And altogether, I think I stitched, how many days? 20 days? Less than 20 days. I stitched less than 20 days. Because I think maybe like 18 days this month. Which, to be honest, wasn't really bad. But we didn't really game a whole lot, so maybe that's why. And the next thing I want to show you is JP's project. So he is working on Mighty Samurai, and it's his very first attempt at cross stitch. So Mighty Samurai is a Dimensions gold collection as well, and it is already out of print. It's an older design. So I will scoot over and we'll use some editing magic to make sure JP appears, so then he can showcase his progress.
Here's mine. So here's my little bit.
Show the preview first.
Oh, okay.
Very unprofessional. So that's the preview. Handsome man with a peacock.
Trying to hide the not handsome man. Yeah, I got nothing on him. Anyway, what have I done? If I hold it that way, kind of makes sense. You can see that's a bit of the sash. That's a bit of his robe. That's a little bit of the sword, and also a bit of his sleeve. So
at this stage, it's pretty much whatever you say. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, right now it could be interpreted as anything, right?
But
it has the hint of a sash, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does.
You can see it.
Does.
And that looks like a sword. It's
so that's 2 days progress. Once during Stitching Meetup, once during Stitch With Me. And he ends up working on some black and greys. Was it exciting, or you don't really enjoy it?
No, it was just a nice change because I was just doing tones of red. So you suggested black, and I think putting down black, you really see progress instantly because it's like straight away black. And now I'm doing the greys.
So they're both solid colors, aren't they?
Yeah. And what I want to do next is just try and fill in at least one square. Because I think I haven't quite finished a whole, is that what they're called, squares? Like one area on the pattern.
Oh, yep.
Because right now I haven't really finished anything. So I haven't got that. At least I can say I've completed 1/60th. How many squares there are. So I don't know if I've completed 1/60th, but no, I enjoy it. It's good. And so got to do more stitch with me's because I got a lot done in that one, even more than I would with a stitching meetup. Because the stitching meetups, you know, it's nice, but it's just
But also he gets distracted by something else. So towards the end of a stitching meetup, he just ends up being on his computer.
Yeah, usually. Or I take a while to get going. Well, there's food. It's always tasty food to eat.
Yeah.
But still good. That's a solid 3 hours usually.
For you,
Maybe not. Yeah, not a solid.
maybe like 2 hours and a bit.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
And we forgot to say, I'm pretty sure it's on 18 count Ada, isn't it? What did it
You
say?
can just look at it, or
No. Yeah, it's 18 count ivory Ada. So each hole, how do I say that? Each hole is quite close to each other. The holes are quite close to each other. So the individual square is quite small.
That's what allows it to have that detail. It looks great. I can't wait until it looks like that. But I will have to wait because there's a lot of tree and a lot of guy and even a peacock. So yeah.
I can't wait for you to work on the purple. I love the purple.
Well, the sleeve's just there. I'm starting with the black, so I probably should be able to do some purple.
So where
soon.
are you now?
So I'm pretty much
Reflection.
right here. I'm going up to maybe there.
So if you go up a bit, then it becomes a sleeve.
Yeah, there's the sleeve here, so I'll be able to do some purple there. That's quite close. So, yeah.
Maybe it's worth it because then you go into the green territory as well. Just a bit more.
Just a bit more variety.
Yeah.
I've also got, what will come up is his sword hilt. He's got nice wrappings on it. On the hilt of his samurai swords.
True.
So,
True.
yeah, quite cool. Cool. Yeah, I like it. It's a good one she found. Anyway, you got more stuff to say? Or yeah? Well, I guess I better just teleport out of here. All right. Bye.
Okay, so now that he's gone, I can move back to the middle. And pretty much that's the end of the stitching progress. So now we can talk a bit more on other stitching related things. Now, first thing is I recently went to a framing store and finally, I guess, was in the process of getting 𝐥𝐴 Fly framed, and the finished thing looked like this. And it is a gift for my boss, and it just so happens that her birthday is on Good Friday. So let's just say I did not expect how expensive this framing ended up being. So the process went like this. We did a little clip, which I will put here as well. So the first thing I did previously was to go on to, I think, the frame shop, where you could kind of get an idea of what the result would like with different filming and mat boards. So I was pretty sure the whole thing would look really good in yellow, and I just went straight for the yellow. And then obviously they normally ask you to choose a mat board, so I thought, okay, let's go with like a whitish or a light cream kind of mat board, and it's all good and stuff. And then I was quoted more than $200 for this pretty small kind of project, which I don't know how expensive the frame actually is, because I just went straight for that frame. I didn't even want to go for like a cheaper alternative or anything. Just that yellow looks so good. It really accentuates this whole pattern with the fabric. Anyway, so I thought, oh, that's too expensive. I don't really want to spend that much. So then we took out the mat board, and the frame kind of went in a little bit, so the whole thing was a bit smaller. And it ended up being $176, which is still more than what I'd like to spend. I don't know, I was under the impression that it would be, you know, $100. But yeah, so that's what happened. And also, I actually wanted it to be able to just be placed on the desk rather than being hung up, because it's supposed to be in her office. So then after we initially went into the frame store and, you know, got this whole choice done up and paid for it, we got out, got a coffee each, and we were just chatting in the coffee shop. And I suddenly remembered, oh, I need to get the backing so it can sit. Then we went back after the coffee and paid for $6 for that backing option. So overall, it was just a bit over $180 for framing. Once I receive it, I will, I guess, make a little clip, and I might include it in the next cross-stitch update video so you can see it, because after I get it back, I will probably just gift it soon, almost like a birthday gift, I reckon, and hopefully she'll like it. And then the second thing is, during the stitching meetup, there's this lady, I think she joined us a bit, like, I guess more recently. So her name is Margaret. And the interesting thing about her is she likes frogging. And she said, you know, she doesn't mind frogging her own stuff, but if it's not a mistake that she made, it will be even better. So then I brought this magnificent wizard. So this one I bought secondhand on, on Cross Stitch Stash Unload, and it was already started. So I said, oh, you know, kind of jokingly, oh, you could help me frog this. And then I brought it, and she actually did help me frog it. It wasn't completely done, but I think more than half was frogged. So the person literally stitched this bit, and it's still like this much left to frog. She was so nice to sacrifice her own stitching time to frog this for me. And afterwards, because I had to leave early, she also told me, you know, just in case there wasn't enough thread left for like those two colors that were stitched by the previous owner, I could crop sort of the bottom bit just to make it work, which I thought was really nice. But I think it will be fine because I've got other kits and hopefully there will be some overlaps of the thread colors. So thank you, Margaret. Then the next thing I want to address is this coming May, there will be another year of Vic Stitches Retreat, and I'm not going this year. So last year I did have fun because it was, you know, my very first retreat, but personally I'm not very social. So even though everyone was nice, I still felt a bit awkward. Secondly, it was like, it will be in the same place. So it's in Shepparton, which is like a rural town in Victoria. And to be honest, not to be mean or anything, it's a pretty boring town. And for me to travel this far just for a retreat with like in a town with nothing else to do, I don't want to do that. Because for me, I feel like it's pretty precious to take time off work. I would like to spend it on things that are more important and would suit me more. So if it's in another town that's I guess, somewhere new and, you know, with more things that we can do, I will be more willing to go. But because I pretty much have seen all Shepparton has to offer, so I just don't feel like I want to go anymore. And I don't have a lot of like fear of missing out, so I don't think it will be too bad. Worst come to worst, I might just make sure that that weekend I can stitch a lot at home. I think it's really good if, you know, you're one of those people who always struggle to find stitching time. Even if you really try to make it happen, sometimes it might not happen for you to just, you know, chillax and do some stitching. You will really benefit to remove yourself from your home and go somewhere to just dedicate that 2 days or 3 days to talk about stitching with other like-minded people and just stitch away. And no one will judge you. No one will say, oh, why don't you do some housework? And why don't you look after this, look after that? So that's good. But for me, if I do want to really make it happen, I can stitch at home, and it's even like more peaceful and I can do whatever I want. I can put my feet up. I can listen to some music. I can stitch whatever I want. And if I want to go get a snack, I'll go get a snack. So there's a lot more freedom for me to stitch at home. So that's pretty much the reason why I decided not to go. Now, this November though, the stitching meetup group that I'm with has a, what is it, Gathering Stitches retreat in like Gippsland area. If everything permits, I will go to that one, and I think that will be a lot more fun because, you know, I know a lot of the ladies already, and I'm almost, well, I guess you can kind of say that I'm one of the organizers. So I was in this little group that does like ideas and thinking of, you know, fun things that should be included in gift bags and stuff. So that will be fun. And I think that's pretty much other stitching related things that I want to mention in this video. And I mean, I only worked on 3 projects this month. I didn't think the video would still be this long, but hey, we'll just go with it. In terms of stitching plan, I feel like I have been saying this for a long time, but I do want to whip out Spring Will Come. It is my very first and only artsy pattern. I'll include the preview there, and I'm only at just over 10%. Now, I keep wanting to stitch on it, but because it's a pretty big project and it needs the whole Lowry stand set up, and I'm very lazy, so whatever is not accessible or stitchable straight away, I don't want to waste time to set it up. And that's one of the reasons why it's still not out yet. I still haven't stitched it, even though I kept bringing it up. But also, another thing that kind of gets me a bit iffy is I stitch it with Markup RXP, and sometimes there will be updates where new functions will suddenly pop up. So at one point I tried, I think it's like automatic tracking of symbols or something, that function, and I think it might have mixed up some colors. So I don't know for sure whether I mixed up any of the cream or white colors in the moon, and that suspicion sort of discouraged me also a little bit, at least a little bit, from wanting to work on it or like really whipping it out and start stitching on it. So I'm hoping in March I will get it taken out, get it set up on my 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓽𝓾 stand and stitch at least for a few days just to find that rhythm again. And then I also want to work on Scrap, Taddy and Pip, which is this little thing. Very cute. This is probably the closest project that I have right now that will be finished. So I want to keep working on it so I can finish it this year. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. It's not a very big project. I already finished the middle. I already finished Taddy. So I'm just working on Pip right now, and Pip is like halfway done. And then the next thing, I haven't made up my mind yet. And I have this project called the Countryside. It is my oldest WIP right now. I started it 6 months into my cross-stitching journey. So I think November, maybe November the 1st, 2020. It's been, wow, 3.5 years. I am thinking about UFOing this project, but I'm kind of ashamed to do it because, so let's rewind. I first got it without knowing how big the project is. So that's me being stupid because I didn't really read the stitch count and all. I just thought, okay, it looks good. And turns out there's a lot of white and cream, like the background stuff. And now I know I like stitching different colors. So that kind of really blocky thing does not interest me. Second of all, I didn't start using the kind of cross-stitch software to track the symbols at the early stage of stitching that. So that really made me very tired trying to eyeball all the stitches. And the progress was quite slow. And also, I don't know, because I tried to grid the, I should have showed the preview anyway. So I tried to grid the fabric, and now I know it doesn't really help me. And I also gridded it, like I started it in the wrong location as well. So like the whole thing is a bit off compared to the fabric. And I don't know, I think also it's been put away for so long. I don't feel excited to stitch on it really. But I also don't want to just chuck it because it's like, it's still a working kit. But if I want to gift it away to someone, I don't know who will want it. So it's kind of like a mental struggle. I don't know what to do with it. What would you suggest? Should I try to take it out again and see whether it still brings me joy? And if not, I deal with it, or just try to see whether someone can take it away from me. Don't know. I would like to get it adopted rather than just chucked in a bin. And you okay there? Rex not sure. Bye, Rex. No, go, it's okay. It's okay. Go sit. Okay, Rex went to his comfy bed in the cinema. So yeah, let me know if you have anything to suggest. Anyway, and the next thing is, if you watched my previous, so November, or the last cross-stitch update video, you would know that my mom came around and stayed for about 50 days, and that's why during that time, there was pretty much no video pumping out. And because she stayed for Christmas, I missed the boat to do my 2023, I guess, yearly review video and show you, you know, the progress after a year and stuff. I'm kind of bummed out that I missed the boat, because I think it would be fun to see, you know, the different progresses on each project after a year. So I wonder whether you want to see something like that sort of around the mid-year mark. But then also, if it's mid-year to mid-year, you can't really call it, you know, 2024 yearly review or 2025. So what would you like? Would you want to still see some kind of review video on all the whips that I included in my previous, like, 2022 yearly review? Yeah, 2022 review video. Let me know also. And also, are there any videos you would like to see apart from that? Comment below, let me know too. I think there needs to be more interactions, otherwise I don't know what you want. Because there are different things I can talk about, different things I can make, I can show, but I don't know what you want to see, so let me know. And that's the end of the stitching related things. And if you decide to leave now, I'll bid you goodbye and see you next time. Otherwise, I'll just talk a little bit about life update. I mean, this video is like 200 years long already. So last video I said I didn't want to dwell too much on the incident of my father-in-law losing his car, and I would include it in the Chatty Stitch With Me video, but I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it in the Chatty Stitch With Me. We just ended up babbling about other things. So I guess without being too specific, and plus keep in mind that this thing was said by JP, so I heard it like third hand. So what happened was, like, sometime in November, I can't quite remember which day, he was sleeping soundly, and he's renting, by the way, and his house is really old. So his back door was not like the best quality, so they just managed to open it. And some kids came in, took the car key, and just drove off with his car. Now the problem with him is that he's had a fall several years ago. I want to say like 7-8 years ago. And he hit his head and had a massive brain hemorrhage. And after he was rescued, and that was a big saga as well. So after he was rescued and recovered, he lost almost all the sense of smell, a lot of the sense of taste, and one ear was completely deaf. And for some reason, he likes to sleep on the good ear. So pretty much he's just deaf when he sleeps. So he missed this whole thing. He didn't know his house was broken into, someone drove his car, and apparently the kids also kind of crashed the car a little bit. So part of the car got dragged onto the outside of the house, so it made a huge noise. He slept through it all. And when he eventually woke up, it was because the kids crashed the car eventually, because they were just, you know, they were teenagers. We're talking like 15, 16-year-old or something, I think. I heard there were 4 of them. Clearly they didn't know really how to drive, and they were high on other things. And they just crashed the cars pretty much straight away, like after a few minutes. And they completely wrecked the car and ran away, leaving all the smoking equipment inside the car. So the car was disgusting and unusable, it's completely wrecked. And the police clearly was called for it. And with the tracing equipment or whatever, with the rego, and found, okay, this old guy is the owner, and went to his house, bang on the door. Clearly he couldn't hear anything, and then they were too worried and saw the back door was open and then just came in. Because they were expecting to see possibly a person that's not alive anymore. Maybe something bad happened, you know, got harmed. Instead, it was just this old guy sleeping soundly when they turned on the light. So he woke up with all the, like a bunch of police, detectives, whatever, all kind of sprawling out, looking at him. So that's the thing. And I think at the time he thought it was hilarious, sort of a little bit. But then he got PTSD from it as well. He just felt like he was so vulnerable. And so much more could have happened. And he kind of felt unsafe in the house as well. So that's the story. It was crazy. And then, so now the thing is, a few months later, now they got a new car with our help. We pretty much paid for it. And yeah, I think it's okay so far. And he hopefully will get some kind of compensation payment from the government for that, and also you'll see how much the wrecker will give him for the wreckage of the car, the previous car. So that's the story. And then we went to see Kevin MacLeod, and that was a Sunday, I think. So he did his tour called Home Truths, I think. And yeah, so he shared a lot of the behind the scenes of Grand Design. We're still watching it. There are like so many seasons of this. He is such a charming guy. We really enjoyed the talk. It was about 2.5 hours altogether with like an intermission in between. And yeah, it was good. I think what we found was really, I guess, suitable for us is the timing of it, because it's like 4 p.m. to 6:30, and different from like a traditional concert, which always happens like at night till midnight. This way we still got to have fun, had food, and when we get home we can still, you know, look after the dogs. So I think we're at the age when concerts don't work for us anymore. So that's what we realized too, JP and I. And I think I have a photo here maybe, just to show, you know, the location of our seats and what the setup looks like. And then also in terms of the fitness journey, ever since my mom left somewhat mid-Jan, and she was complaining about our diet, which, to be honest, compared to some of the other people's, isn't too bad. But we have been really trying hard to incorporate more veggies in our diet. So most of the weekdays now, before I go to work, I would make some kind of cold dish or salad as like this fresh component for our meals. And that's been working really well, I think. And I have also been trying harder to do workouts here and there. If you are interested in doing some kind of workouts, I do recommend this channel called Fit by Mick. I have tried some of the other Asian ones. I have tried 𝓕𝓵𝓃𝓃, and I've tried, what's the other one? Can't remember. Some of the, like, there's a Chinese one as well. I'll link these below. So 𝓕𝓵𝓃𝓃, I don't like it as much now. I don't want to go into too much detail, but in comparison, Fit by Mick, you really feel like you're doing this workout with her because the visual and the audio is there the whole time. And if it's hard, you'll know, she'll let you know, because she's like, oh, this thing is so sore, I'm a bit puffed up. And you just think, oh my God, I'm already struggling, but she can still form a cohesive sentence. So that's pretty cool. And also she'll kind of explain what this move works on, and I don't know, just a lot more interaction. And there are, I guess, more like friendly versions that will get mentioned as well in her video. So if you're interested, just check it out. I guess that's the end. I really didn't expect this video to be this long. I remember thinking, finally, half-an-hour video, but nah. Yeah, I think that's the end of the video. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video also. I'm surprised at how well my last cross-stitch update video did. I wonder whether it was because of my 𝓕𝓵𝓸𝔃𝓃𝓮, my little costume. I don't know. I really don't know what makes people watch a video these days. I was told by JP, oh, there are tricks to, you know, a thumbnail. You need to include this, an arrow, and blah, to make it clickbaity, and then it will do really well. But like, I think it doesn't really work for cross stitches. So I don't know. What makes you click on a video compared to the other ones? Yeah, hopefully you've subscribed to my channel after watching this. I didn't bore you to death. And yeah, I hope to see you roughly same time next month and show you what I've been up to for the month of March. And hopefully there are more exciting news ahead, and I will enjoy whatever I decide to work on. May it be in my plans or not in my plans. And other than that, enjoy your hobby, stay safe, and talk to me, interact with me, and I will see you next time. Bye!